Hello everyone, how's everyone doing today? My name is Gina and I am doing great. Alright, so today we are going to do something exciting, I hope. So I purchased this item. I don't even know what it's supposed to be. It might have probably had a lid on it, but the lid was not there. From Goodwill for $2.09 about a month or so ago. I have cleaned it, but I'm going to sand it and put gesso over it because I'm going to paint it. That's what we're doing today, y'all. We're doing a thrift store makeover is what we're doing. I'm hoping that it will turn out pretty well and that it will go on my cart that I have over here beside me. I think I wanna try to leave that white though. I think I just want this part to be gessoed. We'll see after we're done. But I have like my cart beside me. I showed in my studio vlog, but it has a lot of pens and markers and Posca pens and other acrylic pens on it. And so I thought, wouldn't it be cute to put this on that? What is coming off on that is just grody. This is it's not too coarse of a 120 sanding block. I usually use this to sand my wood stuff. I just want to knock this, there's a shine on it, and so I'm just trying to knock that off so that the gesso will stick to it. Now, I've already come up with a plan of action of what I want to do with this thing. And what I want to do is each section is going to be for a season. My favorite season is fall, so fall will be here. Winter, then spring, because it's my next favorite, and then summer. So my two least favorite are going to be on the end. So I've already sketched out what I have in mind, what I want to do. So let me wipe this down, get all this dust off, put some, probably a coat or two of gesso on it, and then I will be back. It took 2 coats of gesso to cover, and then I just sketched out with colored pencils what I wanted onto the box and just did how I normally paint. However, this paint, because it was more heavy bodied, it's kind of hard to do the floating method. So I did a lot of blending. I would put the darker or the light color first, and then the dark color, and then a little bit more of the light color, just to blend it all together to give it dimension. I should have put the sky color first, but I did not. I do that last. So yeah, it's been a while since I've done a painting like this. I just use greens, different colors of greens that I either mix together to just give dimension to the leaves. And again, doing a lot of blending since it's really hard to do the floating technique. I do put blue, and then I'd go around it with indigo. And again, it wasn't very fluid, but I did some blending around it. Now I'm moving on to winter, and I did kind of sketch out where I wanted the trees, used indigo with some white to get that winter sky, used green, of course, to make the trees, doing kind of the same technique of doing a lighter color first and then going back in with a darker color to kind of just give dimensions to this tree, to the trees. I will mix up some red and green and make brown to make some trunks and branches on it. And then I will take my palette knife with just white, titanium white, and I will make like snow banks around the tree to give it some texture and dimension. And then I'll use a fan brush just to put the branches onto the tree. And also we'll take water and do my snow. And that was it for winter. Very easy peasy. Then I moved on to summer, and I now got smart and did the sky first. And then I did the watermelon just using a light green that I mixed with sap green and white. And then I'll use the darker just sap green to add the little lines and veins and give it, texture, dimension. For the watermelon itself, the flesh of it, I will use red or alizarin with white to make a pink. And then I will continue to blend. A lot of blending went on with this, which I was really happy with. I rarely ever get to do that, so it was pretty fun. So I just keep mixing and blending to get the pink to the more reddish color. And then I'll just use black and a dotting tool to put these seeds in to give me a yummy watermelon for the summer. I will also go around it with indigo just to set it in there, do a little bit more blending. Now the spring bouquet is kind of like a half wreath or whatever you want to call it. I started with 3 focal flower images, and I made a pink out of the alizarin with white again. These are like 3 different flowers. They're not quite the same. I did a lot of blending, a lot of adding different colors of this pink to create these flowers. I made 3 little buds again with just blending. Y'all, I loved doing this. It was so much fun. I rarely ever get to blend like this. Usually I do that in oil. So I was grooving with this. I was really having a lot of fun. This flower right here, however, kind of goofed up right here, and I realized it. And I was like, oh. I'm like, oh, I'll fix it. And so, you mix up, and I was like, oh, I don't like that. I covered it back up, and then I made this god-awful color. I don't know what I was doing putting that in there. So I'm like, that just does not look right. So I'm trying to fix it, and then eventually I'm just like, oh, this is just starting to look really, really bad. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make this into a rose. And we will just start over in a second with this dude, and I'm going to make him into a rose because whatever I kept doing, it just was looking horrible, right? So eventually I just kept adding layers and strokes to create a rose looking, especially like right now, it's starting to really look like a rose. So I ended up being really happy with it, but there for a minute I was panicking, I'm not going to lie. Panicking, see? Starts to look really, really good with the layering, different colors. So I use the darker colors for the middle of this bigger flower in the middle. And I will also do a little bit of that with this other little guy. And I didn't like the way he looked in the middle, so dark. So I'll put a little bit of white on it so I can put a little bit of yellow on it. And then I'll put yellow in the other. I liked the way that this turned out a lot. And then now I'm just going to use green and just a bunch of strokes, different colored greens that I mixed together, different brushes, sizes of brushes to just create the greenery. And then I will end up putting like berries with a purplish color and just yellow. I just started just doing strokes and just filling it up. And then in the end, I will take a baby wipe, making sure it is wet, dipping it in the green and kind of doing a wash over everything, and then taking the other part of the baby wipe to get that green off. I'll put 2 coats of the glossy varnish on it, and this is what it ends up looking like. I really love this thing. I'm so happy with it. I think it turned out fantastical. I loved it. It was so much fun to do. Again, I usually don't do a lot of blending with acrylics. I do the floating technique. So it was kind of fun to play around with it in such a way, and to also do it on, something else other than a canvas, right? So I did end up putting my pencils and everything in there, and it worked out perfectly. So that's it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and share it. It will help support my channel, and I would appreciate it so much. And don't forget to subscribe. All right, y'all. I'll see you next week. Bye.